Hello, welcome back to Black Bear Forge. Yesterday we made a spatula that was meant to go with this fork as a set of kitchen utensils. And I had already started a piece that will become the spoon. I'd done this just to remember what my lengths were back when we did the fork months and months ago. But so I don't put these tools on the workbench and forget about them for another 6 or 8 months. Let's go ahead and finish the spoon. This is the exact same amount of material. Refer back to yesterday's video on the spatula, and I'll link to that right up here. And that will give you all of the sizes, all of the dimensions, and will give you most of the process. We're going to go through the spoon pretty quickly. Since I just did all this yesterday, the way we set up the handle, the way we forge everything, the way we fuller this out, it's all the same until we get to the spoon part. So I'm going to go through that fairly quickly, not going to do a lot of explaining what I'm doing because we've already seen it. You can watch this more at real time and see how I actually work on something like this. But then we'll give more detail when we get to the spoon. So let's head over to the forge, get this hot, and get to work. So the first thing we're going to do is shape the handle, and it's a long tapered handle here. And largely spread out at this end so it gets wider and thinner here, and it gets a little bit thicker and narrower here. Before I go too far on this, I'm going to go ahead and establish where my ring's going to be on the end. Use a little bit less material than I did yesterday. This goes a little bit faster with the cross peen. Don't go too far with the cross peen though, you'll need to smooth out all the peen marks. So I'm going to work all the way around all 4 sides, then go back to the face. Actually see that tip heat up. Now I want to thank everybody that got a laugh out of the April Fool's joke the other day. I think it's interesting that there were 18 people, last time I looked, that gave it a thumbs down. And there were also 18 people that gave the Manky Tank Challenge, which was a bit of humor, a thumbs down. So I wonder if it's the same 18 people that just don't have a sense of humor. But that's okay. You can't please everybody. So we've got this drawn out. I'm going to make it an octagon. I'll start rounding it up, but that tip is already cold, so I'll have to come back and round it up next heat. pretty good there. Let's see if that's about as long as the fork handle was. Pretty close. We can draw out some more through here once we get this end done, though. I'm pretty happy with most of that. A little more tapering in here. That looks better already. Just knock the corners off just enough to make it more comfortable to hold. And you can file that to take any sharp spots off if you need to. So let's finish the ring and then we'll turn it around. Put the little curl on there. And then start to offset it. And this is just so the ring centers better, is the only reason for that offset. Cool, the little curl just in case I hit it with a hammer accidentally. Or have to hit it with a hammer intentionally. This ring is going to end up much more the size of the one from yesterday's spatula. Fortunately, I left that in the house, so I can't actually look at it right now. But that's pretty good. So it's a little bit bigger than the one on the fork. And as long as this is hot, we might as well put the touch mark on it now. Somebody asked why my touch mark is in two pieces instead of attached. It's because sometimes I don't have room to put them one over the other. Sometimes they're one next to the other, or sometimes I just use the last name or even just the bear paw. Just depends on what I'm doing and what kind of a mark I think it needs. But little tiny stuff doesn't get both marks. So I just want to finish this end of the handle now. Try not to mess up the spoon end in the process. And that's pretty much down to size. It's just a matter of evening it up. Just a little bit thick here, and I've got a few weird hammer marks. Just smoothing and cleaning up. And then the handle will be hopefully completed, except for giving it some contour when we're all done. Give it that kind of S-curve shape that I like. Okay, now it's just down to the spoon. First thing I want to do is just kind of round up the end of this so it's a little bit more spoon shape before we start shaping it, or peening it out, I should say. And this will inevitably need a little bit of cleaning up. Now, just like yesterday, if we do a little setup on this, we can make this a little easier. So we're going to thin this in and thin this in so it spreads more in the middle. I'm going to start back here and just kind of half-face blows, and that should create a fat spot there. And turn it over. Just draw that front out a little bit. This also helps lengthen the spoon blank. And try and get everything centered back up there. So the next thing we want to do is go ahead and peen this out wider, and then when it's close, then we'll spread it equally so that it gets a little longer as well. So we just start right in the middle, in the middle, and then work slowly towards one edge, slowly towards the other edge. I'm actually on the inside of the spoon right now. I'll need to turn it over and work it from the back side so the inside is on the face of the anvil, which leaves a smoother surface. So I'll turn that side down. Using the face, I'll start to smooth it out. The more even you can make this, the less filing or grinding you'll have to do. I think we'll go ahead and use the flatter on this just like we did yesterday to get it as smooth as we can. So we'll just hold that with a hold fast. And here I do work from the front because I do have a shoulder right there at the top of the spoon. This also takes out any twist between the handle that is clamped to the anvil and the spoon surface. Now that came out good enough that there's almost no filing or grinding necessary, so I'm just going to go real quick and grind a few little tiny rough spots off, then we'll shape the spoon. Okay, so I just did a quick grinding on that. And actually, we need to put our two little parallel lines in here before I shape the spoon so that it lays flat. So we'll do that next. So making sure we're working on the front side of the spoon and not the back side where the touch mark is. We'll put our two little decorative cut lines. Depending on how refined a piece it is, I might do these with a file, or I might just clean up the chisel marks with a file. But these are very simple utensils, so we're just going with the two parallel lines cut with a chisel. Now we can shape the spoon. And for that, I'm going to work in a swedge block that has a spoon swedge in it. You can also do this in a wooden stump with a depression or any other little hollow. Lots of ways to make spoons. It kind of gives us our little back bend there that I like. This spoon is not perfectly sized for this block. It's got this other depression here. It's close, but it's a little bit small. But perseverance will pay off. And cleaning this up cold isn't that bad. Just don't go do too much shaping cold. Just taking the little waviness out of the edge. And just make it the spoon you want it to be. Just a little twist in it I'm trying to take out. I think I got it. Okay, now we'll finish shaping the handle. Without messing up your spoon, just give it that little bit of or a little bit more of a back bend there. That's pretty much all the spoon end needs. It's a little bit more curve in the end of the handle, I think, to match the fork. Not much though, just a little bit up in here. This is just what my taste is on things like this. You make it to suit whatever your taste is. And that is all the forge work for this spoon. I'm going to let that cool. And before it's completely cold, I'm going to wax it with some beeswax, because beeswax is a food-safe finish, and that'll be good for it. You can use any food-safe finish you want, or any food-safe oil or wax, I should say. Some kind of a vegetable oil would work. You kind of treat this stuff just like you do your favorite cast iron skillet. You want this to just be hot enough to smoke a little bit, melt the wax. If it smokes too much, you're just burning the wax off, and that's no good. But a little bit of smoke means it's soaking in. So this end is just right. This is still a little bit too hot. Wipe the excess wax off. Now if you want to, you can get in here with some fine abrasives and really clean up and polish the inside of that spoon. It'll make it easier to keep clean. But for this project, I don't think we need to worry about it. It'll stir your soup just fine the way it is. Yeah, okay, this has cooled a little bit. That's it. It's done, except for the cooking with it part. Well, that's it for making this particular spoon. It was a fun little project. It's now part of a 3-piece set. And at the very end of the video, I'll not only show a better close-up of this spoon so you can see the details a little bit better, but I'll include all 3 pieces so you can see the entire 3-piece set together. And then I think I'll probably go ahead and put these on the Etsy shop if anybody wants them. If nobody buys them in a month or two, then they'll probably go in my supply of camping stuff, because these are great for cooking over the campfire with. But again, if you want the exact dimensions of the starting material and where I offset, do all that, watch the previous 2 videos. I've already linked to the spatula video up here earlier in the video. I will now link to the fork video, the first one we did, up here so you can find it as well. And hopefully if you watch all 3 of these videos, the entire set will make perfect sense and you'll be able to make a set of these in your own shop. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button. Ring that bell next to the subscribe button, and that'll set you up for notifications so that you know when we make new videos. Then feel free to watch some of the other videos, share the videos with your friends or on social media, but then make time in your day to get out to your shop, make something, but stay safe. Wear your safety glasses. We'll see you for the next one. If you would like to provide financial support for the videos here at Black Bear Forge, there are links in the video description for both PayPal and Patreon. These are merely donations. The content is free and will remain free. Thank you.